Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Glad to be with you here on this Monday, talking to you about you and your business. We've got a lot to cover on today's program. I'm going to go straight to one of our regular contributors, Todd Randolph, and he's with USI.biz, and really a thought leader when it comes to the whole risk management and healthcare area, and always delighted to get him on the program. Real quick, Todd, before you introduce your guests, tell us about USI.
Good morning, Kevin, and thank you for having us on today. USI, we are a insurance services advisory firm. My job is to serve as a consultant in the employee benefits industry for our clients, and seek out ways that are not only cost effective but engaging to employees, and at the end of the day, creating healthy alternatives for groups, whether that's from a health perspective or from a financial perspective.
Yeah, very good. Tell us about your guest today. Introduce your guest.
Thank you. And today we're going to take a little bit different turn. We're going to focus on the oil and gas industry. There's a lot of things that are going on in the industry, and a good friend of mine, Chris Reinsvold, wanted to have him on. He is the vice president at Pearson Partners International, and just wanted Chris to come on and share his knowledge of the industry, what he sees, and what's going on with it. And figure that's a big thing here in Houston, and wanted to just introduce Chris.
Chris, real quickly, before you tell us about your company, give us that website for your company, please.
Sure, it's www.pearson, it's Pearson, Partners International, but it's spelled INTL.com. So Pearson Partners, INTL.com.
And Pearson is singular. Pearson Partners International. Pearson Partners International.com, and that's INTL for international. Go ahead with your first question there, Todd.
First of all, I'd like to let our audience hear a little bit about Pearson Partners and what Chris does.
Well, thank you, Todd, and thank you, Kevin, for having having me on the show this morning. So Pearson Partners, we are an executive search firm, a retained executive search firm. We play that critical role helping organizations find key leadership personnel, talent. We are retained by our clients to help them go and find just that person, which is either difficult to find, has a certain set of qualities. Usually our placements are everything from the board level, the CEO, the C-suite, CFO, COO, and through the vice president level as well. My particular background is in the oil and gas side of it, and that's what I bring to the firm.
Yeah, very interesting. How long have you been with it?
I've been in search. Actually, I've been in, I would say, professional services and strategic consulting for close to about 11 years, the search side of it about 3 years, having made the switch from the consulting side to the executive search side, kind of a natural progression, still working with the C-suite of companies and the board of directors and helping them kind of execute on strategies as opposed to decide on strategies. So I've been doing it for about 11 years, and then I had, before that, about 20 years of industry experience, direct hands-on.
Yeah, very good. Todd?
And Chris, you have a unique story as far as this industry is concerned. I think it's important for people to understand that your knowledge of the industry goes pretty deep. And take a quick 30 seconds to a minute which I really just put that down into, I minimalize that by saying 30 seconds to a minute, but some of your history in the industry and where it goes back to.
No problem. Be happy to. So I actually started studying mechanical engineering in Southern California, not a particular hot spot of the oil and gas business, but during that time I took a summer intern job with a Shell Oil Company. The first 2 summers while I was in school was actually as a roustabout, turning wrenches, painting tanks, getting my hands dirty from the ground up. The third summer was in a drilling engineering project in Ventura, California, and from that point on I was pretty much hooked. The oil and gas business was where I thought I needed to be, and spent my whole career, most of it, 20 years or so, with a couple of oil field equipment companies, working my way from less of a technical side, more to a, I would say, strategic business role side. And that took me all the way through to the point where I decided to get the MBA. And after the MBA, about 2000. Let's see. 2002. I finished that, and I went into the management consulting side, still focusing very much on the oil and gas. But one of the things I found that really helped me a lot was having, I would say, been there, done that, and be able to speak the language with most of my clients, as opposed to just being a well-educated but management consultant. I was also somebody who had a lot of hands-on experience, both here in the U.S. and of course, and I did several tours overseas in the Middle East and Europe, living over there and working over there as well. And so that's kind of my exposure to the search business comes from also a long time in the energy business as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you think is the state of the economy for 2014 as it pertains to energy? We hear a lot of upside. Are there any dark linings you're worried about?
I'm still optimistic and quite bullish. In fact, it's one of the reasons why I'm here. I just opened up the office for our firm because we see that there's a lot of upside in Houston. I was with another search firm here in Houston. The company I work for is headquartered in Dallas, and they see, as I do, that there's still a lot of room to grow in the Houston economy overall, which is I'm helping the firm with in multiple industries. But in the energy and probably even more specifically the oil and gas side, we see a lot of upside. I mean, there's a number of barometers you can look at. Commodity prices are one. I do not make it a habit to try to predict commodity prices, but I pay attention to what a lot of the analysts are saying, and they're looking at something that it's certainly many of them are looking at flat on gas and looking at oil, which has some upside potential, but again, at a very healthy level right now. And if you look at a big part of the Houston economy, it is on the upstream side of the business. A lot of it's based around even like the oil field equipment companies that are based here and all the other support industries. And a key driver for that you can look at would be exploration and production, or E&P spending. And there's a couple of surveys that came out by other firms. Barclays did one. There's another one called the Original E&P Survey. And they're looking at either something which is flat or up as much as 6%. So they're still looking at E&P spending at record levels, something like $700 billion.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to wrap it up here, though. But that's fascinating and great information. And by the way, by all means, if people go to Pearson Partners International, which is INTL, Pearson's Partners, INTL.com. You can learn more about Chris Reinsvold and the folks there, and fascinating work that you're doing. I appreciate you imparting some of your wisdom today.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be on the radio this morning.
Great stuff. Todd, any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Well, and I would love to have Chris on for an hour to talk about the economy, because it really drives everything that we do as well here in the city of Houston. But Chris, I want to thank you for coming on, and real quick, the economy driven by oil and gas and what they do for their employees impacts everything that we do. And we see the state of employee benefits continuing to thrive in this area because the oil and gas industry is so strong. So, Chris, I thank you for coming on and sharing some of your wisdom, and hope you all have a great day.
Thank you.
Yep, and by the way, you can learn more about Todd at usi.biz. I'm Kevin Price. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here, including this interview, can be found over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. More after this.